I'll
we've talked
record this.
about is, oh, thank you. So we're going to launch another beginner's course mid-March, and that's going to be, different targets, but a lot of the same theory and videos and philosophy that Alan has already put forth. So anybody who's in this course is welcome to join that if they just want more practice and they want kind of the group think tank. I think we'll modify some of how we do it so that
Yeah.
we might be able to get more practice in than we have
Yes.
previously. And then we're going to launch an advanced course mid-May, and that is going to, the prerequisite is that people have to have had this beginner's course, and then we're going to do a lot of team activity, a lot of team viewing, and then longer viewing, right, Alan?
Longer viewing, but also I want to do off-planet viewing, like where we go to other star systems and meet other beings. That's really what my initial kind of whole idea of doing this remote viewing for making contact course is. And it's also what the government is now doing, talking about psionics. That's exactly what they're doing. They're using their psychic abilities to make contact and actually land these craft with these
Yeah.
beings in there. So I think maybe we could eventually do a retreat, Kelly, where we go out on the land. And I'm doing one actually coming up in, I'm doing one of those with my friend Hope in the end of April. I should put that in here in this
You're
class.
doing that in Sedona? Is
In
that right?
Sedona, yes, I am doing that in
Okay.
Sedona, which will be really a lot of fun. Let me just, I'll just put that in here while, I wonder if we should call Tim and tell him,
Yeah, I'm messaging a few people now just to
okay.
to be sure that
Okay.
they
Yeah, I'm going to
know.
put this in the chat. My core any, but I'll take questions in a second. But
Okay.
I'm let me see. This is the oh no, transfer PNG restricted to your account. No, that's weird. Oh, it's not letting me transfer. Here, I'll just do a screen share then. I'll just do a screen share of this course that is coming up here. Do you see that on your screen? This is a
No, I
course.
don't yet.
Do you now, Priya?
Says that you've started sharing. Oh, there it is. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
This is a course I'm doing with Hope Fitzgerald, who created this idea of this wave exercise. And that's the whole idea of, and I'm bringing in the particle, wave versus particle, but we're going out to Sedona to call in the ships and to kind of form this group consciousness idea. And I feel like only when we connect collectively will we have enough power to call them in. I mean, some people, of course, do that on their own. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'm also going to be doing the following. I'll put that link of how to, if people are interested in joining me, I'll put the link of in the chat of how to sign up for that. Because I think, remote viewing is a skill that we should practice together in the public, putting it out there, because to make it practical. I mean, right now we're just kind of lab work, but I think going out to the desert, calling in the ships, having real contact, whether that's in your mind or physically. Some people have come. There's some people in the waiting room here. Tim and Christine. Okay, these people realize it. All right. Okay. Okay. So anyway, that was the idea. Anybody have any question? Anybody interested in that kind of event? So you can find it in the chat, but maybe me and you could do such a thing in Sedona, maybe in the fall, possibly.
Yeah, that would be great because I think I'm planning a trip back in October. So maybe sometime in October we could look at doing a Sedona remote viewing
We could even do
retreat.
it in San Diego, but
Yeah, and I'll be in Santa Fe too, so if that would
Oh,
be kind
Santa
of a
Fe,
cool
New
area.
Mexico.
Hmm.
What are you doing there?
I'm just meeting up with some women for a retreat.
Oh, well, we could
Yeah.
do it there. I know Sedona. I used to live in Santa Fe, but I know Sedona better. And Sedona has, it's easier to get out on the land in Sedona for me.
Yes,
So
that's true.
we
Yeah,
could,
Sedona would be great.
yes, yes,
All
yes.
right.
Well,
So all the Bali ladies need to create a plan so we can go out to Sedona in
well,
October.
I was going to just show while we're waiting for more people to show up here, an interview I did with Lynn Buchanan, like 2 minutes of an interview. Lynn has developed something called CRV, controlled remote viewing, and he's one of the original experts in the field. And he has a lot of insights of how to develop this. So we really just learned the initial aspects of remote viewing, but I'll just share this here with you guys. And okay, let me just see. Okay, let me see what Lynn has to say here.
Russell can show you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I asked him about Russell Targ's, initial kind of lesson with me, and he says he can't show you in 5 minutes.
How to do remote viewing successfully.
Yes.
You get big things. Okay.
Right.
What Ingo developed was a methodology, and this is what we used in the unit, where you get those big things, and then in a structured format, you take one big thing at a time and remote view it.
Oh.
And anything you get about it, you take those things one at a time and remote view that. And you get details, infinitely accurate detail.
And then eventually, would you ever then name like, oh,
But Ingo always discouraged that, because the minute you name something, then whatever associations you have with that name
right.
come in and start flooding you with pollution.
Yeah, he calls it pollution. So that's why we don't want to, because you immediately engage the left brain. We're learning how to think with our right brain. That's really, it's a whole different way of thinking about, or not even thinking. It's a way of perceiving. It's beyond thought. So we're trying to perceive with new eyes and new abilities, and realize that we're beyond time and space. This is what they're discovering with the telepathy tapes, and has everyone listened to that? And the kids in that, they're already beyond time and space. They are already little geniuses. They just don't have any left brain facilities, or very little, to communicate in words, because words separate us from reality. So we're trying to view reality directly, but then we have to put in words and describe it. But the thing about remote viewing is direct cognizance of the thing as is. And then to stay a little bit detached, to put it and describe it without naming it. As soon as you name it, you collapse the wave function, and boom, it becomes concretized. But we want to keep the descriptions alive and fluid, because that's how we tap into time and space. I think that's how we go beyond the limited time and space, by keeping everything fluid. And as soon as you measure it, this is Western science, then you know what it is. As soon as you name it, like I said before, if you stand in front of a tree and you call it a tree, you think you know what it is, and you're missing the incredible information that may be coming to you from that being, essentially, because you've labeled and you think you know what it is. So remote viewing isn't about thinking, it's about direct communication somehow, some miraculous way, with the thing that exists beyond time and space. So we're going to be remote viewing events here today, because it's another aspect of going beyond time and space and opening up that awareness of something else. So what do you think, Kelly? Should we start? You think there's some more people coming? There might be.
Yeah, I just shot out an email just with a reminder in the Zoom link in case anybody was, 5 o'clock, I know on the West Coast at least is hard because there's still running kids around and activities and stuff. So I'm assuming people will just pop in late, which is fine. I told them just hop on whenever and we'll integrate them into the activities. I wanted to add on with the telepathy tapes. One of the pieces that I found really interesting is that a lot of the nonverbal autistic children report that they didn't know that they had bodies. They were unaware of their physical bodies, the physicality of them in the world. So that's why they're finding that with these spellers, the nonverbal kids that are able to spell, that they have spelling helpers, assistants, who touch their arm or their wrist, but it's a way for them to remind, it's a way for the helper to remind the autistic person that they have a body. So then they can touch in and then they're able to, do the spelling. But it illuminated for me, sometimes the best information I get is when I'm completely unaware of my physical body. You leave the physicality completely. So I thought that might be an
that's a
interesting
really interesting point, because it's like you do merge with all that is in the right brain. There's no separation of self or body in that sense. But I think somehow you can have it all. I think you could be embodied and still access the realm of pure consciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's more than two ways, but for me, accessing consciousness is an up and out process. I do better that way. But I've also trained to go down and in. So you can be fully embodied and fully connected inside of the physicality of your body as well. I think some people more naturally connect down and in, and others up and out. And then, if anybody else has a different process,
but can you describe what the difference internally between up and out and down and in? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, an up and out is more of like a lifting and an expanding. So it's more of a process of really raising my vibrational frequency to the highest degree that I can. And I find that then it's fairly easy or effortless to connect into the information and the vibration that I'm looking for, whether it's somebody in spirit, like a loved one of somebody else, or if it's an event that I'm viewing, or if I'm looking psychically in somebody's dresser drawer. It's the up and out for me is easier. If I'm going down and in, it's more of a process of like when you go into a different brainwave state. So like a theta state is a down and in. It's almost like a hypnosis. It's like I'm sinking into my body, like I'm sinking into sleep, but I'm still consciously aware. So, and then the information is there as well. But for me, it feels denser to go down and in. So it's harder for me to access information that way.
To go down in the body, you're saying, to go down in. That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Kelly,
okay.
would you say,
yeah, go ahead.
can I ask you a question on it? When you go up and out, would you also say that is also somewhat of a hypnotic state, for lack of a better word?
Yeah, it can be. I would maybe put euphoric to it. Maybe that's the difference. So the up and out is more euphoric and the down and in is hypnotic. That's just my experience and interpretation of the sensation of it.
How did you discover that? No one taught you that. You just realized it? Is that what you...
Well, I actually learned the down and in method at Arthur Findlay when I went for a trance healing week. And so it was the process of going into trance that was the down and in. But then we did trance mediumship as well, which I found really difficult after doing mental mediumship, because you had to be in the altered trance state and then essentially just channel from that state. And it felt really uncomfortable. But what I discovered after a week of doing it was that I could access it very quickly after practice. And that once I did, it sort of allowed me to be fully present in the physical, but without inhibitions. So, so it's interesting to kind of play with. I know Yulia does theta healing. Do you go down and in? What's your process, Yulia? Oh, let's see if we can ask you to unmute.
Okay.
Sorry to put you on the spot like that.
No problem. Yes, I've learned theta healing from Vienna Cyber, and we do go out. We go out. It's a process where you imagine you're like rooting yourself with Mother Earth, and then you pull the energy up through the whole body. You're forming a ball of light above your head. You're like pretending to be in the ball of light. You're going up, up, up through the sky, and then eventually you merge with the creator of all there is. And I think it's more of an euphoric feeling going out, but she also actually teaches to go in, and the going in would be that you're merging with the cell of your chair. You're merging with your cells of the body, and you go in until you're connecting to the creator in your cells. So we have both versions also.
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful. Okay. And do you find is it more comfortable for you to go up and out?
Yes, that's
Okay.
what I practice. Because what I discovered also is that this complete euphoric feeling that you pull up through your body that everyone can do on their own is very similar to going out there and connecting.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
mhm.
Anybody else? I know Tim does Monroe Institute meditations, and so does that. What's that feeling for you, Tim? Is that what is your process, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, it's definitely this preparatory process to get sort of your mind awake and your body asleep. And then from there, you go into a state of expanded awareness, which is more of an up and out for me at least, because part of the preparatory process is sort of entering into this what they call an energy conversion bubble, and then I imagine that bubble rising up, and when it gets to sort of so you get to expanded awareness, and then the next level, if I remember, I'm trying to remember which one. So it's mind awake, body sleep, expanded awareness. There's another level after that where there's no time, and from there you're supposed to be able to leave your body. I'm right at that cusp of being at that place. I had a really interesting conversation with Judy at Conscious Life Expo, who I think some of you might know, but anyway, she mentioned that she does Monroe Institute, and then when she gets to that point, she feels this vibration happen, and then she's out of her body. So I've had that vibration happen, but I haven't quite gotten to the out of body part. So that's right where I'm at. I'm right on that cusp. So.
Have you had an out of body experience, Tim, ever? Have you ever?
I've had lots of lucid dreaming, but I haven't really had a full out of body, Alan, where I'm like looking at myself and like walking around the house or doing anything like that. But I think I'm right at the cusp because of what Judy described. So, yeah.
But I would also say it's not what you think it is. In a sense where your consciousness is not in its normal state. It's not like, for me, I'm just talking about myself. It's like you're really kind of in an altered state. It's like being high or something. It's like the field is totally distorted. It's not like you're saying, "Oh, I'm out of my body." You might have that realization, but the ambiance of your consciousness is different, if that makes sense.
I would definitely agree with that. I'm definitely in an altered state of consciousness. Where I do feel like I know we've talked about this before, like feeling dissolved, like you feel like I definitely feel like I guess I didn't mention this part. I do my Monroe Institute in the sauna, so it's 140 degrees in there, and I'm just I'm in this Yeah, and I don't feel anything. Like I don't feel any drops of sweat go down in my ear or, in my eye, or all those things that like drive you crazy when you're in there. Like none of that is really, so I'm really in an altered state. I'm really in an altered state of mind. So.
Well, that's that. And then the more you're used to that, the more when you suddenly are out of the body, you'll start to notice that is the state, that's sort of like the normal state, but even though it's not, it's abnormal to this waking consciousness.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that state that
Okay.
I was talking about. I just haven't had Judy describe the first time that happened to her, where she was at the end of her bed looking at herself basically asleep, and I haven't had that happen quite yet. So,
Well,
Kelly, I'm dying to tell you that my grandma's name is Flora, by the way.
Okay, perfect.
I know, I asked my dad, so
That's awesome. Yeah, I had a reading with Tim yesterday, and I'm like, "Who's Flora?" He's like, "I don't know. My grandma's name was Flo, but it was actually really Flora." Yeah, I love that.
her real name was Flora, you're saying, Tim? And Kelly
Yeah,
got that?
Oh yeah, and then told me a bunch of stuff about Grandma Flo, who was, quite the character on Earth. So,
And so when
my dad was.
she said Flora, you had no idea who she was talking, or you?
Well, I mean, I thought it might have been Flo because that's the only person who's close. I wasn't really very close with my grandmother on my dad's side, so it was just I didn't know her name, like her full name. So I just wanted to confirm that was really great. So
That's awesome. I love when that happens, when the person I'm working with doesn't actually know, because then it negates this whole argument that, we don't believe in anyway, but that I'm plucking stuff out of the psychic space because it wasn't even in your awareness. Maybe somewhere it was, but
she was the last person that I thought would be there too, by the way.
Really?
That's so cool.
Sorry, I'm digressing. I'm sorry to take everybody down a weird path.
No, I think it's fascinating that you weren't thinking about her, and Kelly she just came. I mean, how do you get that, Kelly? How does that come to you?
I just heard it. I'm very clairaudient. So I heard, so what I worked out in mediumship is, and this was kind of my process through time, as I've worked out different ways that people come in. And I was always crisscrossing mom's side and dad's side. So I said, all right, here's the deal. You guys on mom's side, get on my right. And so I'm going to become aware of them on my right hand side, and dad's side going to get on the left. So I felt this woman, and then they kind of come in, like if it's a similar in generation, it's going to be like a shoulder to shoulder. So and then parent generation is like here, grandparent, and then up from there. And she was sort of like in a grandmotherly position on dad's side, and then I just heard Flora. So I was just asked if he had I thought it was a grandma, right?
Those same sort of protocols do happen in remote viewing. Like, there's certain, if you're just scribbling shapes that come to you, like there's square blocks might be buildings, or round shapes might be faces, or, different initial elements stand for certain initial impressions of, because you're actually are viewing or sensing something. We just don't know what it is. So should we try a target? I mean, you think we're all here?
Yeah, let's do it. And that actually gave me an idea, which we could play with either today or in some future session. But I wonder if we did sort of the same thing I've done in mediumship, but like as you're viewing the picture. So if we asked for the upper right-hand quadrant to come in the upper right-hand corner. So if you're kind of standing in time and space and you're visualizing up to the right, you can see what's there. Because, even though you get shapes and impressions, sometimes I don't know where on the page to put it. I don't know.
If you're getting impressions from parts of your vision, you put it on the paper in those parts of the vision. Right.
Right. So it almost makes, you could almost put it into quadrants. I mean, we could just, it's one of those things you could play with.
And the other, we can play with that. And then the other thing is write down whatever you're getting, even if it's names or something. And you might want to say that's an analytical overlay, an AOL, as they're calling it in the business. But it's good to include that anyway. And let's just see what else. Well, when we do like things like events, I'll talk us through it, but you want to get an overview and then you want to zoom in. I mean, in these initial remote viewings that we've been doing, people get an impression and then they stop. Oh, that's the impression. But in the longer remote viewings, you kind of point to the part that you've already got and then you tune in deeper to it. So the thing starts to expand. Some people even enter the target. I mean, if it's an event or whatever, they enter that, and they're seeing it all around them and things like that. So this is another level of complexity we're going to do today. And I mean, most monitors would even say, oh yeah, we're doing an event, but we're just doing that just to kind of bring in another aspect. So I think we should like do a little meditation exercise. You want to lead that? You can start that, and then everyone have a pencil and paper ready to do this target 1 today, and we'll get ready. We're going somewhere. Okay. So
We're going somewhere on planet though, right?
yes,
Not
on
off.
planet. Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So nobody blast off into
Right,
outer space.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so everybody go ahead and close your eyes, please. Yeah, if you want to take yourself off camera, if that's more comfortable, you're welcome to do that. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, exhale slowly, allowing the day to melt away, or bringing the day in if you're in Bali. Allow your body to relax, releasing any tension, feeling the weight of your body just sinking into the seat or the bed or whatever it is that you're sitting on. Fully present in this moment. Take another deep breath in, as deep as you can. Deep, beautiful, sacred breath. Inhale. Hold at the top if you can a little bit, and then exhale, letting go of any distractions. Release everything on your mind, focusing your mind on your breath. And as we shift our awareness, we're going to bring our intention, our awareness to our inner vision, the space behind your closed eyes. Imagine a gentle wave of light moving through your body, clearing your mind, opening your intuitive senses. Feel yourself expanding beyond the physical, entering into a state of heightened awareness. Feeling that up and out we talked about, that expansion. Becoming that light that you are, less and less aware of the body. Visualize yourself in a vast, peaceful space, timeless, boundless. Here, in this moment, past, present, and future events exist simultaneously. You're simply an observer, receiving impressions without judgment, trusting whatever comes to you. Taking a moment here, unbound by time and space. Allow what comes to you to be limitless. Don't put limits on what you can receive.
And feel yourself floating in space collectively with this group of people here, friends, and we're floating above, and we're going to look down on this scene, this event, from a distance first, and just sketch what you're seeing, feeling, hearing, sensing. As you again kind of zoom in closer and closer, let the impressions come, let the actions unfold, let the things come to you as you're aware of it. And you might want to first get this big open feeling of a big view and then zoom in. So what are you seeing there? What are you feeling? What are you hearing or smelling or sensing? What's the ambiance of this thing? What's the feeling you get? Write all that down as it comes to you. If you get stuck in one part, zoom in to a little fragment and see what else comes. The feeling is a big one. If you can tune into the feeling as well, not just what you're seeing and sensing. Picture yourself there, wherever there is. Just let it come to you. Don't guess. Let it come. And just okay. What do you think, Kelly? Should we? I mean, people get impressions, which is great, but maybe a little longer. If you didn't get much, then just try seeing what you're sensing, feeling, not even seeing, but maybe you do see something. And don't even think about it. You could just sketch it out without even thinking what it might be.
Might be an unusual tactic, but something that works for me is to go to ask for somebody who might have been at the event or heard of the event at the time, and feel into the emotionality around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I always like to start with a big overview myself and then fine tune it. And then keep zeroing in closer and closer. And just lay out as many different pieces as you can. Okay. Should we just do a few more minutes there, Kelly?
I think we could start, and then if somebody is still working on receiving, they can stay off camera and maybe mute us for another minute or so.
I mean, I know we're still new at like what remote viewing is anyway. So like this is like jumping into the deep end after you've learned a couple of moves in swimming. It's like, okay, we're being thrown into the deep end now, and then see what you get, because it really is a practice. It really is. Like, that's why Kelly is so good, because she's been doing it for so long and understands her own mind in a sense. That's what I think.
But I feel like with remote viewing, this is a totally different, I remote view all the time, but I do it differently. So when I'm doing it the way we're being prompted, I'm not that good at it. I'm a beginner in this way too.
We should talk about how you do it then too, because.
Well, yeah, I will. I'd be happy to do that. Well, after this share, because I found a technique that worked well for me when I was doing it.
Well, I think there's no right way to do it. This is just sort of how I learned, but there's absolutely no right way. Any way is a good way. So Julia, what did you get?
Okay, so I got the feeling of being taken into the space, and we were collectively on a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
The spaceship was really big and metal and black, and then I got the impression that we were telepathically connecting to the entities that were in the spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a very nice feeling. It was very warm, and it was very welcoming and loving. And I could really feel that I was scared to connect to them, because whoa, this is so new, and I don't know what you want.
Take that same feeling, but then use that to look down at Earth and see what you see going on there. Okay? I mean, go back in, close your eyes and go back in and just concentrate what you're seeing there as we talk to other people. John, do you want to share?
Sure. Mine was kind of tough to get into. I don't know, just work meetings, being late for this. It was hard. I was kind of having to work really hard to sort of get into it. I think the harder I worked, the harder it was.
Yeah.
So battling through that a little bit. Mine were kind of conflicting. I think I saw, I don't know, what looked to be rectangles and buildings. Then the strongest thing I got was what looked like a teepee or a pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing I kind of dug into, because that's all I was really able to access. And at first, when you said feeling, it was, wedding popped into mind, or union. And then it quickly went to, that's not it. It was war. But then when I put myself in places that it was rather peaceful, and I linked it all together, it sort of felt like ancient Egypt, but maybe unrest.
Well, I would not jump to those conclusions so fast, but it could be peaceful and not peaceful at the same time. I think you're closer than you think. And of course, coming from a hard day where your left brain is really overactive, it can be in the way, or sometimes it's like you want to escape from that and it's like boom. So I think you got some good elements there, and I think you can go you would go further maybe with more time. Of course, people spend hours on one target, so that
Okay.
I think keep going into it as we're talking and see what else you get with some of those ideas if you can.
Okay.
And there's no contradiction between feeling peace and not peace, all that. I mean, it's all possible. So it's just the left brain that says, no, it's not possible. But trust what you get. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay. Christine, you look like you're thinking about something. Okay. Hi.
Well, first of all, good evening. Yeah, I was thinking because I'm trying to keep my brain from trying to get off this one thing that I can't quite seem to shake. I keep wanting to go to it, but
what is that one thing? What is that one thing?
Reagan giving a speech at the Berlin Wall saying, "Tear down this wall."
Okay, and why do you think you went to that idea?
Yeah, because I got a wall. Well, I got this structure that was partially being it's not a fixed wall. It looks like it's in different states of coming apart, and there are lots of people. There's an event where there's like a speech. I kept getting speech and people gathered, and the feeling there was a feeling of relief. Some people were pensive, lots and lots of people. And so it was, and historic. I felt like it was historic.
Great. Okay. Stay there. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah, definitely elements there. Okay. Tim, anything for you?
Yeah. I had a bit of the same. I had I also too was getting some images of a wall, and then a crowd. I wrote down new beginnings. I wrote loud. I wrote speech and spectacle. And I kind of did a bit of a drawing here.
Let's see your drawing.
It's always hard to see. Oh, let me turn off my
turn off the backdrop. But it's always so interesting how people get these target. Okay, what are we seeing here?
So, like, I don't know, this bow tie looking thing.
Yeah, and a wall type thing, and what's that?
And then this weird. I don't know what this is, but
that's okay. You don't have to know. That's okay. And what's the words there? Bruce?
Yeah, I read all those. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, it was crowd, new beginnings. I did write down blue, and I wrote down the word beta. I have no idea.
Beta. Well, it's okay. Let that come. People's unconscious mind is so much wiser than the conscious mind. So, yeah.
So,
all right. So that's pretty good there. I mean, similar to what Christine got, actually.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I perked up when I heard that too, because I don't know why I was thinking of a wall also. So.
All right. Well, there might be some elements to it. Okay. Did you miss that session, Vania? Did you?
Vanina, I'll message her and have her kind of take a look while we're going around to everybody else.
All right, great. Yeah. All right, Robin, go ahead.
Okay, I got immediately, like almost before you stopped talking, I got boxing ring, like boxing ring and big crowds. Big crowds. And then the next next thing that came through was I couldn't figure out what it was. I mean, but it was the shape of, like, a volume, like the symbol of volume on your computer or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then what kept coming around was loud. And when I was like trying to feel, like just put myself in the place, it felt loud, kind of overwhelming in a way. This shape came in, and then I had this sense of planes going by, and a field of yellow flowers.
All right. Now getting back to your first image of like crowds around a boxing ring, maybe it's not a boxing ring, but that's just what your left brain might have associated with. Like,
it was people in a center with a lot of people paying attention
right.
to.
So that's a lot more accurate than calling it a boxing ring. You see, like when you see, no, it's because the left brain says, we know what it is. It must be this. So I'm saying when you're more abstracted like that, you're much closer to the target. That's your right brain overriding the left brain saying, we got this, buddy. No. So it's like, but that is pretty good. It's similar to what Christine and Tim and a little bit of what John got. And I have an explanation for the thing that you said looked like sound. I mean, and no, that is and this all just came to you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just flashed in your mind. It's okay.
It was different because some felt like images, and then some felt like shapes in a more of a black and white shadowy kind of.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Okay. Estella, what about you?
With me, I didn't get to necessarily an event yet. Like I was visualizing like the world, the globe, and I was just it took me down to, I guess it would be something like a safari, but I haven't got to an event yet. Like I could see the area, it's dusty. Like I even felt like I wanted to cough a little bit, like it was in my throat.
Right.
Very kind of dry and barren almost. I kept
Did you
seeing
draw that? Did you draw that?
Yeah, I kind of drew. And
now,
I can't
okay. In that drawing, go back to that scene and just put your like pencil on that scene and go deeper into the scene you got and see if there's anything more that appears there. I'll come back to you too, but go into the scene and see what else. Okay. Devin, are you here? Good to see you.
Yes.
Hi. What'd you get there?
So after Kelly's words, it all went. So I came down and I saw buildings, and then words were thrown into that site. Pakistan, Los Angeles, and I was like, I need the visions. Came down onto fields, and then it was like polo, like horse. I just kept seeing the mallet, and then there was water polo, and then it just got really, really black and really confusing. And then it was just like a lot of my right arm and my shoulder back here just really lit up. It's still lit up.
Wow.
But I feel like it was really not successful. I don't know if it was successful. I just felt like I was seeing a lot of images, and I was just like, oh, okay.
No, but you see, you're like really kinesthetically feeling things. That's another way of, because it's not viewing, it's a whole body experience. So you're more in it than most people. I mean, you're like in the thing there. It's what I feel from you. So like you're boom, like part of it somehow. Okay.
For the most part, it was just like a lot of confusion. I was just like, okay.
No, but
while my arm was lit up.
That's part of it. What's that, Kelly?
Did you feel like you were in a confusing event or a chaotic event? Or is it just confusing in how you were viewing it?
It sort of felt like I was in a confusing event. So it was very dark. Like it was really dark. I noticed how dark it was, but there was a lot of like commotion that was like happening and sort of like blocking or kind of like this. So I was just kind of like, okay, I'm not going to press that because I'm just going to respect that space and I'm just going to go into my feels. And that's when the arm like lit up and stuff. Because I was like, I'm not going to press this imaging because whatever I'm experiencing is like, we're not going to be there. I don't know if I was in like a crowd, like there was like just like a lot of happening and I was just super like into it, just not visually, just like sensory. So
it's hard to make that distinction when you're overwhelmed with senses, like what's going on, but at least you got that piece there. You got that piece. So you got aspects of it. Julia, did you get anything else? Thank you, Devin.
I got the feeling of being in a valley and
A
being
wedding.
no, in a valley, a valley.
Valley.
And for me, I was also part of a crowd, and for me, it was a very exciting feeling, like almost like I'm expecting something to happen or I'm celebrating something. It was a very golden, beautiful scenery.
So how is that remote viewing attempt different than the first one you did? Can you see the difference?
Well, I think it was actually similar, just that it feels to me that something is going to happen, and maybe I saw something like some entity is coming and we're expecting this, and then I went on a completely different tangent that I actually went on that spaceship instead of staying on the event.
Well, I don't know what goes on in your mind, but I think you're actually tuning in deeper the second time to the essence of the thing and not letting a kind of just imaginative possibility take over. I mean, that's my guess. I don't know what was going on there. And what about, thank you though. I'm glad you'll see it's different. And what about you, Vanina? Anything you get? Did you able to tune in?
I did it very quickly, and I don't know if it's actually. I apologize for coming late.
That's okay.
And I don't know if it was way too quick, but anyhow, when I wrote Kelly's that we were seeing something in history, I saw this kind of cloud of dust, gray, and kind of moving. And I kind of went back and back, and I saw this kind of a fungus. So imagine something, and there were some mountains behind, and then I saw some like the atomic bomb.
Totally what? Say that again.
Because it was the atomic bomb.
Oh, the atomic bomb. That's what you saw.
Because it was this dust and
but don't jump to those conclusions because you get a feeling. That's what I'm trying to point out. Like, oh, it must be this because the clearer you can stay, just stay with the feeling and description of that, and then that
so it was kind of this gray thing and dusty and kind of movement of dust and shadows and
that's pretty good. Keep that. Just keep that. And let's go with that feeling there. And Estelle, you get anything? Stella, you get
fear as well.
What's that?
Fear. I saw fear like
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's all valid. Okay. Estella, did you get anything there? More? Did you get anything more when you went deeper into the target?
Sorry, my dog is barking. Yeah, it felt very it felt peaceful almost, like if the people were kind of like a commotion, but like celebrating, like like joyfulness. I can't really put it almost felt like an election almost kind of thing. I don't know how, you know, how people when we have elections and people are it kind of felt like that, but it wasn't it was obviously somewhere else
Yeah.
because how I would see the people were very different from us.
Yeah.
No,
So that's good. That's good. That's what, yeah, no, you'll see the target. Jeremy, sorry you were late. We started a little earlier. Wait, unmute, Jeremy. Yeah. Yeah. Did
Hi, Jeremy.
you got the Jeremy? Yeah. Sorry, I guess you weren't aware we started a little earlier.
That's okay. I was able to get here a little bit late.
Oh, okay. And Marjorie, we did start. I didn't remember right away that we were starting earlier. So, but
We'll
Marjorie,
just have her pop in probably on the next event that we'll do.
yeah. But anyway, getting back to this target, Marjorie, you missed this target. Are you okay, Marjorie? Margie. Sorry, Margie.
Yeah, I didn't know that you were starting early. I had booked a dental appointment, so I just got back.
We started early
We're
for
glad
people on the. Well, we'll just finish up this target. You know what the target is, but I have Kelly, right? But I have to say, if you take what Robin got along with what Christine and Tim and what Estelle just put in, so I'll just sum up. Robin, you saw like something in the center with a lot of people around, right? And then Christine, you saw what initially?
I saw a wall with lots of people around,
Right.
and also a speech, and lots and lots of people gathered, and I wrote down historic.
Right.
But there's a feeling of relief and joy.
All right. And then Estelle, you got something, you said presidential.
Yeah, like they were celebrating, but it felt like Christine just said, it felt like a release. Like they were like something really shifted. Like they felt very happy with what occurred.
Mm-hmm. But also, Devin, you got a lot of confusion and a lot of like so you take all this stuff that was later, you got some confusion and not all joyful. And was your thing joyful, Robin, or not?
It was, I mean, loud is the thing that comes to mind
Loud,
most.
right. And other people were getting, and Tim, you got something interesting there too. What was your piece there?
Yeah, I had loud, spectacle, speech. I got new beginnings and crowd.
All right. So if I was the CIA and I had to put all these clues together, can anyone sort of, let's say, guess what this scene was based on all these different psychic assets we have here? Psychonic assets. I mean, does anyone have a little guess?
I want to throw in that Devin felt a sensation on the right side of her body, right, Devin?
Right. So include that too. And then include what Estelle and Christine and Robin and Julia got pieces of that and what Tim just said. Jeremy, you have a guess there? Like you're muted.
I didn't hear anything about the target, or I literally sat down.
All right, but based on the clues that people are giving us, what do you think it was? I mean,
maybe a wedding.
What's that?
Maybe a wedding ceremony.
Well, okay. I mean, it was something like that. Marjorie, okay, I'll just show you the target because it had elements of all that and more. Anything you want to say about this, Kelly? Because you know what the target was.
Let's see. Is there anybody else that has just a guess at what the event was?
Yeah, Vavina.
I have two, or it was an election of a president, or my feeling, or is the wall of Germany pulled down?
Oh, someone else said that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep thinking it keeps coming to the like ancient times when they would have the gathering in a I don't know, like I mean the clues, not necessarily, but like they would in like Mayan times or Aztec times when they would like have a sporting event kind of, and then tons and tons of people that would be there, and someone would inevitably get killed. That's the picture that comes from all this.
That's the picture that comes to. So put that together with what Vanina and Christine and Estelle and this presidential feeling. Put that all together there, and what do you think it could be? Hi, Dan. Hi.
Was it the January
Roman
6th
Emperor?
event?
Sorry, I'm actually like at a skiing trip, but I'm trying.
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
okay.
do
It's
remote
okay.
viewing here.
Play the next. You could play the next round. We're just finishing up this one target, but
Okay.
hang in there. You said the January 6th. You said the
I
January.
got here late.
That's okay.
Maybe.
All right, that's a good guess. Anybody else have a guess? Tim, put all those elements together, Tim. Be a detective. All right.
I don't know, Alan. I am so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's
I'm stuck in my own like interpretation. Do you know what I mean? And
all
I'm
right. That's fine. Okay, I'm just going to show the target. Anything else you have to say, Kelly?
No, I think it's always, if we're doing a group think tank, it's always important to look for the common thread. And what came up 4 times was presidential. So where I would go with it is this is something presidential.
Yes. It did come up 4 times. 4 different people got 4 different elements. So if you put presidential in with the diagram you drew, Robin, what would you come up with? And the thing you just said.
Like have it is.
And the sound thing that you drew too. You see, we're like, if we all saw the same movie and I asked you what the movie was about, you'd all say, oh, it's about this character, or that's this guy there, or something. We'd all have different elements. That's what and it's hard to do it when we're kind of separate like this, but I'm just showing how we all got pieces of this thing and we're just trying to sew it together as a patchwork.
JFK assassination?
Kennedy assassination.
Who said that? You said that, Robin?
Like we both did. We both did at the same time.
And you both said it at the same time? Well, let's
so
see
funny.
what it was. It was
like the car and
the Kennedy assassination.
Oh. Wow.
Yes, presidential. Wow. Crowds, celebration. This guy got hit on his left side. This is Connolly, I think, or his right side. No, I guess that's his right side, his shoulder and everything. And then that's
the right arm, right?
The right arm, exactly. And then the shot to the throat and the hysteria and the confusion. And there, Jackie's comforting. There's a shot where his head being blown off.
Why I saw black.
But anyway, that's how it's done. Finally, we put together the pieces, but yeah, no, like Christine, you got major elements there, presidential speech, and the wall. Some people say the shots were actually fired from the wall behind the grassy knoll. What are you showing?
And I didn't show you my picture, if I can.
Yes, please.
I don't know if this will work.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
And all the X's are people.
Yes. I didn't see that before. That's fantastic.
No, I didn't show it.
Oh, you should always show it. That would have been another clue to go with what
Yeah.
Robin said and everything. So,
And also Julia with the valley feel. So
what
everybody
kind of
kind
feel
got,
was it?
she felt that there was a valley. And
Oh,
it kind of
yes.
looked like a valley if you're looking down from the higher. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we guessed the JFK assassination, but all the elements pointed to that. So that's how the CIA would work. But that's pretty amazing, isn't it, Tara?
Hi, Tara.
Can I?
Good
What?
to see you.
What's that?
Kelly, could I ask you like for interpretation? So like if I saw the building and then it came down to a field and then I started to feel my arm and then it just went black and there was like blocking. Could that have been like it?
I think that you were viewing it from probably the car, from JFK's perspective, or from somebody who was in the event. So you were in your clairsentience. You were really you first you were in your clairvoyance. You saw it, and then you sort of like immersed into it and became clairsentient with the actual event. So that was what the way I interpreted it as you were giving what you received was, you know, chaos. It was chaos, and then it was sensation. So that would have been like the pain of being shot, and then it was black, right? Or I don't know if it was black first,
It
but
was very black, like a real black.
yeah.
Some
So it's
people
interesting,
get in.
right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Kelly. No, go ahead, because you.
That's like this is part of building the discernment. Is the next time you're in it, you might be able to ask, "Am I experiencing this from the experiencer of the events standpoint, or you know, is this the general emotion?" So you can get kind of you can actually get sort of curious about it and ask these questions while you're in it.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're really sentient, Devin, and you really feel the whole scene, and you put it, you feel with your body. But thank you for that. And wait, Christine, weren't you surprised at what you got there? I mean, were you pretty amazed that you right on target? I mean, yes.
Yeah, except that I definitely got presidential, but I just got fixated on a wall and this image of so I have to stay open. I have to stay open.
The wall is a big part. Those shots, people say, were fired from a wall, not from the book's depository. So the wall was big. And the loudness and that vibration you saw, Robin, that's the gunshot, I think. So it's amazing how all of us
Robin also
get what?
So grassy knoll. Robin got, did you say daisies or field of daisies or something?
It was like a green field with yellow flowers.
Right.
So
the grassy knoll right there. These are, I mean, it's always amazing when I just say there's a target and people zoom in like that. It's like a miracle just happened here. I mean, not such a great scene, but you know, we were able to remote view that. And yeah, Ravina, do you have something to say?
Yeah. No, I think it's as Christine says, we really have to be open, because I saw this confusion or this dust, or and then I saw this road with the people kind of faces in fear, and then immediately I did the link. Oh, it must be a bomb.
Right.
But
Don't do the link. Just get the
Yeah.
impressions. That's what we're learning here. To just boom, whatever it is. And you know, Estella, if you saw people were happy in the beginning of that day, and there were it depends where in the timeline you're tuning into the event too. So you know, people were happy. It was a big speech was going to be made, and it was presidential. It's just, don't you think that's pretty amazing? This group, Kelly, that like we, you know, able to tune in like that. I just want to show what I did an interview. I've shown this before, and this is what I asked Lynn Buchanan about this event when I was interviewed. I was doing it with a group of people, and I was actually showing the scene, and people saying, "Oh, there's a lot of people around, and it seems like some kind of parade or celebration." This was about 20 different people got the same thing. You know, and you know what it was? It was the JFK assassination. They just, boom. They didn't get the exact thing, but they got the sort of circumstances around that. What do you call that?
Here's the thing, Russell can show you in 5 minutes how to do remote viewing successfully.
Yes.
You get vague things. Okay.
Right.
What Ingo developed was a methodology, and this is what we used in the unit, where you get those vague things, and then in a structured format, you take one vague thing at a time.
Oh, yeah, we saw this already. But anyway, so I asked him about that, and the idea is fine-tuning those big things. So, Robin, you got a little box in the middle of this crowd. If you zoomed into that box without calling it a boxing ring, then other things start to appear, other things, you know, that, and it's always look for the unexpected. Don't look, if you see a wall, don't necessarily assume it's the Berlin Wall. It could be the wall in Dallas, Texas. So this is just why feedback is so important. The feedback that you get when you see the target, and then you see how your mind works or how your body tunes into certain targets. That's like the key here, right? I mean, what do you say about body perception, Kelly?
Are you talking about the sensing it with your clairsentience?
Yeah, the clear sentience. How do you know how to listen to your body? Do you just, is it the same way of what we?
Yeah, well, it's whether you're working psychically with somebody or you're remote viewing an event or a target, you're allowing yourself to be open for receiving whatever emotion or sensation comes into your body. So there's sort of a neutrality that you find first, so that you know, kind of, okay, you know, in this moment for all of you, you might close your eyes and say, okay, I'm feeling X, Y, and Z. You know, you might be a little bit stressed from the day that John was talking about, or relaxed like Tim and Tara look in bed, you know. So there, you might just have a way that you're feeling currently. So you kind of tuck that into your mindset. Okay, I know this is me, and then I'm going to go to a neutral place, and now I'm going to allow for whatever feeling and emotion that is connected to whatever I'm tuning into to enter into my space, enter into my field.
Right.
And you know that it's yours. So that's a big piece, because sometimes if people aren't sure whether or not it's theirs, it can become overwhelming, and it can be a little bit scary.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it can be. Yeah, that's where you need the discernment of what's you and what's not you. Yeah.
Right.
But okay, that was pretty good. You want to do your target, Kelly? And maybe you could lead us through the meditation, and it's another event somewhere in time space, but don't say anything more. And because I don't know what it is. And then maybe we could do the breakout rooms to go over the stuff after you kind of lead us through the meditation and all that. I mean, after, and then people get something on a piece of paper, and then we'll do a reveal. We'll try the breakout rooms for half the group. Okay.
Okay, so we'll break up into teams essentially for feedback, and then we'll see which team got closer to the actual event.
Yeah, or what we put all together. Yeah, I mean, we could do something like that. Do you want to break up into 2 teams or more than 2 teams? Or we'll start with 2 because it's on.
Probably do 2. That's fine.
All right.
I have 2 potential targets.
Oh, you have to pick one, or else we get confused.
I know. No, I know. So one is easy, and one is more complex. So I wanted to ask.
Why don't we start with like an easy one, and then we could do a second target, maybe. Okay.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to just take a moment.
All right, and then and now forget everything we just talked about. Everyone's playing this round. Margie and Jeremy and Dan, you're with us, right? And Mary Beth, ready with pencil and paper. Okay. Cool. Okay, thanks, Mary Beth. And Dan, you're with us. Okay.
All right, so get back into your space, allowing your eyes to close softly, gently, melting into whatever space you're in, whether it's a seat or a chair, bed, couch. Just allowing your entire body to melt, to feel supported by whatever it is that you're sitting on. Breathing in, deep, expansive inhale breath. Exhale, let everything go. Allow for that release of any tension that remains in the body. Maybe do a scan from head to toe, removing tension from the top of the head, from the jaw, shoulders, all the way down the back, your hips, your legs. Taking in another deep breath when you're ready, expanding the lungs and the belly. When you can't inhale anymore, slowly exhale, letting go of all distractions. Let go of all distractions. And shifting awareness to your inner vision, the space behind your third eye or at your third eye. Imagining that gentle wave of light moving through your body, clearing your mind, opening all of your intuitive senses. Feel yourself expanding beyond the physical, entering into a state of heightened awareness. Visualizing yourself floating in a beautiful, peaceful space, unbound by time and space. Everything is possible here. Past, present, and future events exist simultaneously. You are the observer. You're the receiver of impressions. No judgment, just trusting whatever comes to you. Allow yourself from this place to be guided to the event. Where are you? Are you indoors or outdoors? What do you notice about your surroundings? Any architecture, landscape, lighting, sounds, voices, music, nature, silence. What do you hear? What do you smell? Do you notice any textures? Does the air feel like? Are there any distinct colors or shapes that appear to you? Who is present? Can you sense anyone? Maybe their energy, their emotion. What is happening? Is there movement, conversation, or stillness? What is the mood? Is it joyful, serious, chaotic, scary, calm? Do any symbols or words or objects appear? Can you understand their meaning without overthinking it? And if you could describe the essence of this event in one phrase, maybe, what would it be? Staying here as long as you need, and then when you are ready, gently bringing your awareness back to the present moment, taking a deep breath in and exhale. Bring back everything that you've received.
And go deeper and deeper into your targets. If you get an image, go deeper in there. Mm.
Right.
Mm.
Take down everything, every impression.
Mm-hmm.
And if it seems strange or out there, write it down, draw it.
Mm. I'm not sure how to work out the breakout rooms, but I could try it, Kelly.
Okay, and let me know.
Have you done this before?
Yes.
Like,
Let's see if I can probably assign it manually. Let me see if I can
oh,
do
you can?
this.
Good. You can assign it how?
Oh, so you go to the breakout room, little squares at the bottom, click
Oh.
on that, and then it says assign manually. So then you can go to room 1 and assign.
Oh. Okay, do that then. Why don't you do it?
Okay, I got it.
Okay. And then you'll pull us out of the breakout. How long do you want to stay in the breakout room for? About 10 minutes?
Yeah, let's do a share for about, yeah, that'll work. We could do it for about 10 minutes and then we'll try to, as a team, guess at the event, given what our teammates have come up with. And then, so each team should come back with, let's come back with 2 guesses. So a number 1 guess and a number 2 guess.
So let's take 15 minutes then. Let's do 6:45, come back in. Is that good?
Yes, that sounds good. Okay, so I've got these people in one room. Let's see. And I'm gonna add a room. Okay.
And put us in separate rooms.
Yeah, you and I can, I think, float as we would like to. Okay,
Well,
so I'm gonna open.
I think we should just maintain one room and I'll maintain one room.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I've just randomly clicked through, so I haven't, picked people specifically, but I'm going to open the rooms now. So go ahead and join whatever room you are assigned to. And then Alan, you and I'll go to room 2, and then you can go to room 1.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let me just.
I'm going to join room.
All right. Let me just see how to go to breakout rooms. Participants.
It should for you show that you can join next to.
There. Okay, team. Great. Thank you. I think last round was a good preparation for it all. I don't know what this target is, so it's like just does anyone Christine, you did really well last round. Why don't you start?
Okay, this is, I don't know if you can see, this is my picture. There are buildings and I've got here a statue of some sort, and I've got these X's are people running in either direction, and I've got sunny, clear day, and then I've got smoke, chaos, shock, sirens, run.
All right. That sounds, just from what you described, the World Trade Center, I would say.
It does. And my first building looks a lot like the World Trade Center. Yeah.
All right. That's one possibility. I don't know. I didn't get that, but okay. What about you, Devin? What'd you get?
I think I was just distracted in the beginning, but I heard frogs and trickling water and lily pads. I don't know if I was picking up on Kelly's background. But then I zeroed in on just a kid's birthday party. A lot of kids, just a lot of like, yay, a lot of physical joy. There were streamers above, just like banners. It was a really pretty birthday party. A lot of kids celebration.
Well, that's actually closer to what I got. So we'll keep going. How about you, Stella?
I got I just threw, to me it looked kind of like, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Look like peaks, like almost like buildings and like roads, but people were moving through it. A lot of movement, a lot of colors, a lot of like celebration, music, party, like having a good time. What I was how it felt would be like being like at a Mardi Gras or something like to that effect. That's how it
That's
felt.
interesting.
A lot of colors.
Yeah. How did your thing feel, Christine? Because it's a pretty intense scene, but how did it feel to you?
I felt really caught up in the sunny, clear day. Like it was just a beautiful day. And then I felt it shift.
But it didn't feel ominous at first, or did it feel ominous?
No,
it did
no,
not.
It felt quite perfect. It felt quite perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Jeremy, what about you? How did you do this time?
So I started getting things in the very beginning, and then I just went in a massive blank. First thing,
that happens. But what did you get in the very beginning?
The very thing I got in the beginning was like a low light setting, possibly indoors, where people are kind of silhouetted as if people are maybe watching something together.
Yeah. Okay.
Stage performance.
And then you didn't get anything else after that?
No, and I got the color blue at the same time of all of that. When Kelly's talking and in the meditation, I get lost in her words. And every phrase that comes out of her, I go down that path.
But why don't you take some time and so you got someone in a dark room, just close your eyes and zoom into that person or something and see what they're seeing, and we'll continue with Vanina. What did you get?
It's a difficult name, right?
I guess Vanina.
Vanina. Okay. Or Vani, you want to call me short because it's
I'll call you Vani.
Exactly, go for it. So for me as well, while Kali was talking, it was difficult to receive images because it was very much kind of following her voice and the guidance. So I got just the last part when there was silence. I had the taste of bread in my mouth, and then it was sunny, kind of a city, a lot of people, like in a busy city, busy day of people going around, a normal day. I saw kind of brown things, like it looks like it was some wheels or and then I saw cars, kind of brown things and transportation, like moving. And then an event, I saw kind of something that happened. It looks like I don't know if it's an explosion or something dark, like a kind of a moment of dark, and I don't know if it was an explosion. It's more like an event. Something happened, and then but I couldn't go there. Kind of, it was a moment and it passed, but it was, and I saw rock rocks, roads, and sunny.
Right. Okay. That's
City.
good. That's close to what I got. Jeremy, you got anything else when tuning in? Okay, I'll tell people what I got. I got like a nice peaceful scene, sunny in a park, like sitting by a lake or something, but it was very peaceful. And then it was looking for the event. That doesn't seem like an event. So that was a little bit of a clue. So what would the event be? And then I did get something like, I don't know if this is, it was sort of a guess, but I got something like the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk with flying and taking on. I don't know. That seemed like a guess to me. That seemed like but I did get the form of a woman looking at something, like that picture Sunday in the Park with George, that pointillist picture. That's first the image I got. If you know that picture, it's a impressionist picture of this woman sitting with a hat looking out at a little lake in a park, and definitely daylight, definitely peaceful for me. Very much like Devon. And the only event that came to me was maybe because I was just at Kitty Hawk actually a few years ago, where the Wright brothers flew the first airplane. So if we take that every one of us here had a little piece, even you, Jeremy, with the dark, whatever, how would we put this all together? I mean, the presidential thing was easy, my last round, because I knew what it was, but what could we put together that would form an event here? I mean, if we were a team working together, does anyone have an idea? Christine, do you have an idea?
I mean, a few of us got city,
Yeah.
or some sort of city and movement of people, vehicles. And also, I think more than three of us got like sunny, like
Yeah.
clear. Like, so I think we've all pretty much agreed on, that kind of a day.
Except Jeremy saw something of someone.
Yeah.
Mine was more of a low light setting, maybe indoor.
Indoor. Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I got sunny too, and a nice, clear, peaceful. I got peaceful. But I had to really press myself to find an event, to really maybe force the certain. Did you find an event, Estella? Did you see any? But you didn't see anything last time for the big shootout.
No, I had a hard time getting an event. Like I can be somewhere, but not an event.
Right. I don't know. Well,
Alan.
Yes.
I had to do the same thing as you, like being around water and being around frogs. And I was like, this isn't an event. Like I need to be somewhere. And that's when I saw the birthday party. So it could be something open, spacey, drawing into like that, like water or something.
It could just be a picnic somewhere. But why don't we close our eyes again and just like see if we tune into that nice, clear, sunny day. If something else comes, some impression out of nowhere comes of something else, just wait for it to come. Just trust whatever comes to you. What else is there? Okay. You get anything, Jeremy? Anything else there for you? Any images? Any?
The problem I'm having is I'm a graphic professional. Like I do commercial art for clients.
Yeah.
And so I sit there and I can create anything in my brain. When I close my eyes, when you guys say outdoor sitting by a lake by frogs, I can create a dock, I can create all this stuff, but it's me creating.
Right. And that's a good distinction between what you're creating and what. So look for the thing that's the surprising thing that comes out of nowhere in that ability to greatly imagine. There's something that pops in that's not from your imagination. That's how we make the distinction. So anything come to you, Devin? Devin, did you get it?
Kind of like you said, just like sort of a random thought, like sitting on a field and then seeing San Francisco like a bridge and an arch. I also had a thought, the explosion, the image that I saw with the children, the party, they had a piñata. So I'm just wondering if maybe an explosion existed also in thought.
Yeah. How about you, Christine? You get anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I did get being down by the water, and just I got the word distraction. So it felt very peaceful, very clear, sunny. But then there's a sound. There's a sound that's a distraction.
And you, Vivina, did you get anything?
I because when I saw this event, I saw something gray, and so I went back to kind of the last image of the city, and I saw I find myself indoors, and it was fire and stairs and droplets, like there was water falling, something like a fire and the stairs, and I kind of was walking down the stairs and these droplets of water.
All right.
And nothing else.
All right. And you, Estella, anything more for you?
No, but I don't know if I was influenced by what you were saying, but I do it was a clear skies. It was nice and bright. So I don't know. It kind of all got mixed in there now, and I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciphering between both.
I know that's the trick of fine-tuning the remote viewing skill. You know, something like the Kennedy assassination, it's a big event in the collective, and when it's someone's remote viewing it, it's sort of like things just flow, but these littler events are more specific. You get anything else, Jeremy, or I
would just say that, like, when I keep going back to everyone's sunny view, I don't at first it feels tranquil because those are the words I'm hearing, but I feel there's something off with it. It's either there's something terrible happening behind the scenes there, or I don't know if I'm being influenced still by JFK getting his head shot off, because it was really sunny there too.
Right. It was really well, you know, I got the same thing when I went back into it. I got something like maybe it was the Gettysburg Address, and there was this battlefield. I don't know. That's just a guess. I have to say it's a guess. So, but it's similar to what you're saying, Jeremy. Like maybe it appears peaceful, but there might be. But I kept seeing initially just a kind of peaceful, like lake and stream and birds and people in a park in a city too. So I don't know. We have one more minute, and we'll just throw out a lot of those ideas. But
yeah. When I was when I saw all the city and the people and the sunny day, if I have to make a conclusion, but listen to everybody, my feeling is that it was a normal day.
It was what? You said what?
And it was that kind of
wait, I missed that. You cut out.
With
it was
picnics and somebody inside. And then this event happened.
Vanina, I felt your being in that space, and it felt very scary. And it felt like the towers had fallen and you were in there, and it was dripping and it was chaotic and you were moving through it. It was really sad.
Well, maybe Christine got a bullseye. I call that a bullseye. When you get the target, boom, that's a bullseye. So, okay, I'm going to bring us out of the room. And let me just see. Okay, here we go. Thanks, everybody. I think this should close the room. Oh. Oh, shit. Oops. Did we lose anybody there? Where's Kelly's team? Oh, there you are. Kelly? Tim? Did everyone go in your room?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We were in the room and then it asked us to come back. So I
All
think
right.
it just takes a second
Where's
for everyone to
everybody?
come
What
back.
happened to Dan?
That I don't know. I don't know.
And what happened to there were more people in your room, weren't there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's Mary Beth, Robin. Oh, okay. Here's some of the people. Okay. Hey, Kelly.
Hi there. How'd it go with you guys?
It was a little difficult, I have to say. How was your room?
It was good. I was trying to remain neutral because I knew the target. But what were some common themes that came up for you guys?
I'll speak. I got, and other people agreed, it was a bright, sunny day outside. I got a big open space. Some people got water, some people got buildings. Jeremy got somebody inside and dark, but the majority of us got outdoors, bright, sunny, peaceful, although there were some elements, some people said, of something darker or some explosion that may have happened. I didn't get that, but other people did. And but I didn't quite get an event. I had to push myself for an event. So well, how did your team do, and what did they get? What's the common themes?
It was interesting. I mean, in each share, I could say it looks like you're in the right place.
Right.
They all had they all had elements that would have been correct.
Like
One
what
of
kind of
the
elements?
So same thing, daylight, people around in the distance. Almost everybody said joyful. So almost
Wow.
everybody picked up on that similar emotion
Yeah.
around it. There was the one person didn't say joyful, but they said adventure exploration, which I kind of lumped into the same group thing. There was actually a really interesting common theme that emerged out of maybe 3 or 4 shares was the sensation of looking out of a window. And then when we dug into that a little bit deeper, it felt that the window was elevated somehow.
Oh,
Looking out of it.
yeah, I don't think we got that. I don't think, unless Christine sort of got the World Trade Center, but a peaceful version of it. Sort of.
Okay. Yeah, so it was sort of interesting because then we were kind of trying to guess at the events, but we were sort of working under this assumption that maybe this commonality of the window and looking out of a window was accurate. So then when somebody said Woodstock, we sort of like put that up against the looking out the window, and it didn't quite work. So then we took a moment as a group to go back in time to the time period in which we happened, and we I think got to a late 1800s, early 1900s consensus.
That goes with what my first impression of a guess was, which was the Wright brothers flying their airplane, but it's sort of that time period, but it probably was not that, because that was a guess. That was what my logical mind put together. So
was that a first impression when you tuned in, or was that a guess after everybody shared?
That was a guess after I said, well, it's a beautiful sunny day. There's a park, people sitting around. There's a lake. What? I wasn't seeing an event. That was the thing. I wasn't seeing any moment there. So that was the guess because of that. anyway.
So do we want to, as teams, just come up with a guess for an event, and then we can, and then I can do the reveal?
Well, why don't we put both the teams together? So we got sunny day, peaceful, maybe an explosion, maybe something, and what did your team? And then we can both teams together and see what we get. What did you? So
yeah, no explosion on our side, but the looking out the window from an elevated standpoint, joyful daylight, people around but in the distance. Some people thought the day was warm, and some other people felt crisp. They felt like sort of a moisture in the air, which might talk about location.
So are we looking for an event, that's something that actually happened in those things? So why don't we all just take a minute with all these? Is there any more clues you got for us, Kelly?
We had a couple smells. We had the smell of burning. It was something burning. She wasn't quite sure, but felt familiar, like something you smell fairly regularly. And then there was a smell of cigarette smoke as well. So it was interesting that we've got some smells that came in.
So should we take all those clues and just take a moment and see what people come? Because I'm lost, actually. But I don't want to make it logic. I want to just
don't overthink it. Keep it simple.
No, okay.
Just keep it simple.
I'm just okay, so let's just take a moment and see what comes there. I keep thinking. I have to stop thinking about it. Okay. The problem is the logical mind wants to make sense of it all, and you can't really. So I don't know. I don't think it's the Titanic, is it? No.
Okay, so anybody have like a really, feel confident about a guess?
No.
It felt wind. There was wind in the top of something.
Wind on the top of something. Okay.
Like something tall, and it was windy. And I did get fire. Fires and stairs.
Okay.
But that was before. No. Only wind now.
And I got fall for the time of year, and then people coming and going.
Okay.
Right.
For the time.
Costumes.
Okay. Do you want to? Anybody else?
World's Fair.
World's Fair. That makes sense. Who said the World's Fair?
I did.
That makes sense. That does fit all the pieces, I think. I mean, that rings true for me. I don't know if that's it, but
I'm gonna go with just New Year's Eve, like the celebration, the explosions, Times Square, something of that sort. People looking out windows.
That's interesting.
What's the thing that people go to and they all dress up at? I think it's in New England, and it's like a time period piece, and people go and they act
like Renaissance Fair.
Renaissance. That sort of came to mind.
Right.
And then when you said World Fair, it was sort of, I don't know if they Renaissance with the World Fair, but it sort of felt similar to me.
That's interesting. All right, Kelly. Anybody else?
I had something maybe.
I was thinking, and I might have mentioned this earlier, like it kind of had like a Mardi Gras kind of feel to it. People are looking out the windows right now. You said looking out the windows. I mean, that makes sense. commotion, moving, things like that. That's what I'm picking up.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
What do we got, Kelly?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it is the Wright brothers' first flight.
Oh, it
Oh my
was.
God.
I got it.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I actually got that. Oh my God. I'm
You did, and then
shocked.
you were in your head about it, and then you told yourself it wasn't right.
I thought like, oh, it just popped in my head. And I said, oh,
Oh my God.
that's a guess. It's like, oh my God, I
That was a
got
great
chills.
guess.
But wow, because
Yeah.
I saw a very peaceful thing, and then I looked around the landscape, and I was there actually a few years ago, and I saw like, oh, maybe I don't know. It seemed like a guess. That's the problem. You don't know what's guessing, and you don't know what the real target. And the key to remote viewing is finding the way to make the distinction between those two parts of your brain. But wow. And you were so
Wow.
straight. You were so straight faced when I mentioned that.
I know. I was really working on it. I had my poker face on.
I thought, no, that
I
couldn't
thought you
be.
were gonna
But
go with that as your guess. So,
well,
but no,
no, that was the first event that came to. If I looked around this very peaceful landscape and there were people, and I was just hiking in a similar place, I thought, no, it's too similar to that. But then I just saw the Wright brothers, and it just clicked. But there's a million things that go through your head all the time. But
no, it was great. You did great. And it was December 17th of 1903. So we got with the group that I was in, when we kind of nailed down that time period, that was almost exactly right. And the crisp and the cool air and all of that with North Carolina would have been absolutely right. Yeah.
And it's right on the water. If you ever go to Kitty Hawk, it's right on the outer barrier islands of North Carolina there. So that's the water. But
Would there be frogs there?
There could be frogs there. I didn't see.
I kept hearing frogs.
There probably weren't that many people around, but it was a sort of celebrate. That is so amazing. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Robin, can you show us your drawing, your grid drawing? Because when I saw that, it kind of looked like the plane.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. So it kind of had, for me, when you showed it to me, because the picture I've got on my internet looks like, the plane was very grid looking.
But Christine got planes too. The world, you got Christine. You get sort of planes with the World Trade Center thing.
I didn't make that stretch. I wasn't even. Yeah, I got smoke, and I got the sunny clear day, but otherwise I was kind of hyper focused on a city. So
it probably was smoke, because that was the first engine driven airplane.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was great, Kelly. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys did wonderful. It's fun to do it as a team, I think.
It is. Cool. It is. A lot of people got the sunny, pleasant day and the water and the peaceful and the people around and this kind of celebration. And it was a celebration. It was the first time people flew a heavier than air object. It was there's a whole museum there. I recommend going there, but but that's great. All right. Next target. This will be the final target.
Can I add something real quick? Sorry, Alan.
Sure.
I just looked it up really quick because I want to picture what you were saying is location. They said on that day it was cold and windy with winds from the north on the time of the first flight. So it's kind of, I think our group had wind. We definitely had cold, crisp. It's interesting at that moment.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is great. Cool. No, thank you for doing that. All right. How's everyone feel about that round? I feel really good, but how did everyone else feel? No, Margie, what are you getting, Margie? Okay.
What am I getting? I felt like there were some elements of what I got. I got bright. I got that it was loud and maybe kind of like a sporting event. I mean, it was sort of a sporting event. But as I was telling Kelly, I do better when I just have silence when I'm trying to,
Right.
but it's okay. I'll just mute it next time.
No, I think you're right. When more people can concentrate in silence and just let. So we have one more target, but any other comments? Well, we'll talk about the wrap up after this, right? You want to do one more?
Yeah, how's everybody on time? Because I think we we initially said we'd do 2 hours. So for those who can stay, we could stay and do another target. And if anybody's got to pop off, then we can kind of make final announcements before they leave. And then what do you guys
it looks
think?
like people are here to stay. Well, they're not going anywhere. So let's
If you need to leave, it's okay. We understand.
There's no place to go. It's all here now. So, all right. So you have another, don't tell us anything about it, but we need to clear the decks of everything we just did because we need to be empty. And so, all right, Kelly.
Okay, give me a moment because I actually want to pick a different. I'm going to click. John's reading my mind, so I need to pick a different target.
Okay, good. How'd you know John was reading your mind? How'd you know? He told you he was reading your mind? Okay, well that's a good plus for this class, but yeah, okay. Okay, pick another target.
Right, give me
and there's billions of targets out there.
Okay.
You got something?
Yes. Well, hold on.
All right, take your time.
Okay. I have something, and if it's okay, I think because I want everybody to find their own process, since I've walked through the last two, we'll just take out, does 5 minutes enough, you think, to have them view it?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Yeah. Are we doing breakout rooms? You want it, or you want to just keep it like this?
Yeah, let's take 5 minutes to tune into the event. And then we'll break out. Then we'll do breakout rooms, and we can do kind of successive tune-ins as small groups if we want to take a look at time period or go back into it.
Okay, so we'll take 5 minutes of tuning into the event, and then we'll do breakout rooms and discuss for like 10 minutes.
Yep. So guide yourself through it this time. So take a deep breath and clear out, and then allow your expansion, weightlessness, timelessness, and then view the target. All right. Taking down any final impressions.
Okay.
And this is a work in progress. So if you get more as we group up, that's great. You can add more to it.
So you want to mix up the rooms a little bit here?
Yeah, I just did that. So I'm ready to, I'll open all the rooms. And if you're still getting impressions, just be sure to join when you're done. All right. So
which
Alan, do you want to go to room 1 and I'll go to
room 1?
room 2?
Okay, I'll go to room 1.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay, some familiar faces here. Hi. Okay, this is fun, isn't it? Like, who would think you could have that much fun just tuning into your consciousness? All right, Christine, you did well last time. What did you get this time?
I was definitely getting images of the sky. And I got, well, my picture is somewhat strange, but I got planets, I got lights. I wrote down space, lights, colors.
Well, that's, I don't know what the target is, so it's as good as anything. What about you, John?
Hey, I'll chime in because mine was similar. My first one wasn't. That was kind of grassy field and it looked to be like a, some sort of medieval structure in the distance. And then it instantly went to kind of the edge of the earth and almost like a space station sort of in orbit or something circling. But it was but the space one felt like the right one. So it's funny that that those are similar. So wildly different, but I feel like the darkness and the edge of the earth is probably the closer feeling for me.
Wow. What was the event though? What would you say, there was an event moment?
No, not that I could discern.
Okay.
Mine was the lining up of the planets.
Oh, that's coming. That's
and
coming
northern lights. So I drew.
Oh, eclipse maybe. It was what, because I got sort of a shifting into darkness. That would make sense with yours.
That's interesting. Yeah. Wow. How about you, Mary Beth? How are you? Good to see your face.
Thank you. So I got a bunch of different things. I kind of got I got dark purple and like a stroby light. And then I got the sense of like a tunnel or thin. And then I got that it was a different period. I don't know why that came to my head. And then I got like a jute box. Summer humid grass were the other things that came, and that was my picture.
Oh, wait, let me highlight that picture. Pin. Oh.
So that makes sense.
Box. Yeah. All right. How about Margie? You? What about you? Hi.
Well, I kind of sit there and I ask for a picture to be shown to me or words. And so I also got like just a very black, all of a sudden everything blacked out and it felt like outer space. And then the words came to me, the moon landing. So I don't know if that was the event.
What was the words you say?
The moon landing.
The moon landing. Oh.
I don't know if that's just an auto suggestion because I saw blackness. It just felt like somebody was out in space and like a little bit of the moon. And then I just felt like maybe it was, the words just came to me, moon landing. So could be right, it could be wrong. But
did you get,
like several of you, I felt like it was sort of outer spacey.
Right. Did you get moon landing too, Christine, or something?
Well, I drew the flag on the moon.
Oh, there you go.
And the capsule.
Wow.
And the rocket. Yeah, I was definitely in space.
Wow, that who knows? You might get a bullseye there. Julia, what about you? How'd you do?
I can relate to maybe for me, I saw like mechanical stuff, and it didn't feel like a crowd at all. It felt like a very small team, or maybe one person, but very like we were not in the open. We were more like maybe in a room capsule, because I saw mechanical, I saw first time things happened. So this could align with the moon landing, but and I also saw something opening, which looked a bit like, Christine, your two pillars, like almost like a breakthrough or a new finding, or yeah, that's all I.
So wait, in essence, you got what exactly?
In an essence, I got a feeling of a new finding, a mechanical thing, almost like a doctor would find a new tool, or it was a lot about a new understanding of things. And
Okay. Well, thank you. I didn't get anything like that, but I did get the feeling of these people very close together. It could have been the capsule, but they were very and darkness, but I thought it was more like a theater, a dark theater. I thought like, okay, what would it would either be like a boxing match, but didn't seem like that. But it could have been like something like the Academy Awards or something, that's kind of dark theater. But there was a feeling of people very close together. So that didn't make sense. So I don't know. It could have been the capsule to the moon landing. I didn't get that at all because I actually shied away from thinking that because I've used that in other classes. Oh, the moon landing. So I didn't want to like think, oh, I was the moon. But from what you're saying and my initial impressions of these people very close together, I thought it was maybe a boxing. I don't know, but kind of close and huddled in. Maybe that was spacesuits, but two people kind of huddled together in heavy clothing. I didn't get anything about outer space, but I did get dark. So should we go with the moon landing? Does that sound like
yeah, that or Alan, the stuff you're talking is like the moment of the eclipse. And I guess I know for a fact that my own sister watched the eclipse in a field, I think in Idaho, and there's an instant moment of darkness, which was similar. I think maybe Margie had that. And it got cold. Remember, the temperature dropped like 20 degrees.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's the moment of the eclipse.
Maybe that could be. I didn't get the thing that I thought, oh, it's the Academy Awards was that moment. I thought, oh, maybe that's the moment. What's his name? Slap Chris Rock. I was going off on a story,
Will Smith.
Will Smith. I thought maybe that's it, but because first I thought it was about
great moment.
That was my mind making up stories of if you start here, then the mind likes to tell a story. Oh, that must mean this, this, and this. But I'll just go with a dark space and bundled up clothing and two or more people
close
together. Whatever.
Well, why don't we just go with? I mean, it seems to be a consensus that it was something like in space, and there was darkness, and somebody said a strobe light, so we could say maybe it's either the moon landing or the eclipse. We could give, because that seems to encompass all the similarities.
And can we just call outer space? We call everything in outer space. That could.
Well, I wasn't sure. It was definitely dark, though. Was the total opposite of what the other one was, which was bright. So, all right, let's just go with that as a team. Okay. Okay, I'm going to close the room and go back to the main session. Let's see, close all rooms, leave breakout. guess the other room is still in session. I'll text Kelly. I don't know. She didn't give us a time for this one, so
I think you could go into her breakout room
I
and
will
just
go into her breakout. That's good. I will go into her
Do you know
breakout.
how to do that? Because I don't, but I just thought if you knew how, but
let's see, she's in room. All breakout room. Oh, all breakout rooms are closing in. She set a timer on that. So they'll be here in 15 seconds. All right. I guess you can set a timer. I don't use breakout rooms much, but I think they're kind of fun, for a group.
I didn't know you could do that. It's really cool.
Yeah, you could do more than 2 breakout rooms. You could do like 10 if you want. Okay,
Oh, wow.
Kelly. Oh, you set a timer on the breakout room, right?
I did not. I don't know why it popped us all back in here. So maybe we just wrap up as a big group.
Well, I closed our breakout room and then I thought, but yours still stayed open. But anyway, we came up with something. I mean, what about your group?
We didn't get as far as a possible guess of an event, but we all had shares and we're starting to see a couple of common things emerge.
Like what common things? What common things you see?
We had force came up a lot. There was a couple of people got intensity, they got force. There was Robin got some words. One of the things she got was don't deny, which I thought was interesting. So this feeling of force, intensity, don't deny, and then power, movement. There was something about everything kind of being okay, then there was movement, and then there was then everything wasn't okay, or there was chaos, or some sort of commonality of that emerged.
Yours was a lot more emotional. It's what that?
Yeah.
What
Two people thought maybe moon landing.
That's what some people in our group thought, the moon landing.
Okay, but we did say it was an on-Earth event, so I didn't repeat that though.
Oh, you didn't, but we got dark. I got dark, and a lot of people got dark, and some people got outer space. I got people kind of huddled together. John thought it may have been the eclipse you experienced. I got definitely something dark and people together. I thought it could be a sporting event or the Oscars or something, but other people just got outer space. Or Christine, what did you get again? Christine, you got?
Sorry about that. I did not know that it was Earth-based because I went out in space. So I either got the alignment of I either got the moon landing or the alignment of the 7 planets, or the Northern Lights.
Okay.
The moon landing is a common remote viewing target. I have to tell people.
Well, depending on your view, it could have been an Earth target, right?
Yes.
Whether it was faked or not.
But we definitely got dark and a dark space.
So I have a question about dark. I was telling my group, and we use this a lot in mediumship and psychic development circles, that there is an intelligence there, right? Where you're receiving intelligent information. So there's never just an image without an emotionality attached. So that with its clairvoyance, there's always clairsentience. You're not ever going to have an image that doesn't have clairsentience attached to it. So sometimes we say, go into the image. So when you got dark, and you went into it, what was the feeling attached to it? What does anybody
feeling for me was like crowded or not suffocating, but I don't know. I'm just not privacy, like a little overwhelmed, but not overwhelmed is not the right word. That was it for me. What did someone else in the
huddle or cuddling?
Yeah, cuddling, but not quite cozy cuddling. It was more like
a huddle.
Huddle is sort of, but just with 2 or 3 people is all I got. Margie, what did you say when you said, what was your thing, Margie? No, you went. What?
I think I already said it, just just that I got the words moon landing.
Oh, you got that. Yeah. Well, I think we're picking up from your group too, the moon landing stuff, but
yeah.
And I got thin. I said thin, but it was kind of this feeling like that. And then I got some rounded lines, which maybe I don't know if that could relate to something somebody else said.
Oh, hold that up again. I'll highlight that.
Like these lines here.
Yeah. You said you also got strobing lights too, didn't you?
Yeah, and that might have been.
I can understand all of that you received. And then Robin, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead, Alan.
No, go ahead, Robin. Yeah.
Could you just show us your initial drawing?
Oh, yeah.
Again? Robin's been on fire with some of her target viewing today.
Let's see.
Okay. So the first thing she was that box or the rectangle.
Yeah.
It was a light box.
And
kind of.
Don't
And then a bunch of X's crossing over each other.
Well, that
and then this kind of horseshoe thing that turned into, and then light coming at it from the side.
Well, that looks like the theater I got, like maybe the Academy
Theater.
Award
That's what.
or something.
It's funny. I was trying not to name it, but it was.
Did you get the Academy Awards too?
Dark. Everything was dark.
Oh, I got the I got the
light was coming from like side stage.
I got the Will Smith Chris Rock interaction, but that was like a guess. So, that was like, oh, what's an incident there? But anyway, what else you think, Kelly? Did your group get?
There was fire. Somebody got fire. Let's see, some black and white, like a feeling of old silos. Those were not commonalities. Those were just a couple of the things that popped up. Somebody got a flag, which was interesting.
Oh, Christine got a flag.
Okay. And when you saw the flag, what do you know which flag it was, or what did you feel about the flag?
It was our flag on the moon. I had also drawn the moon landing.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did get also lights and colors I wrote down.
Okay.
And I got squiggly lines going up and down. So I got a lot.
So based on our two groups, anyone have a guess? And we're talking guess, about what this event could be. It's an event, right, Kelly?
It's an event. And I guess did anybody feel really strongly about the emotionality around the event?
I didn't get any emotions.
No.
Okay.
I got frustrated. I mean, I got like not quite suffocated. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't like high bliss, but it was a little uncomfortable. I got
like you had anxiety, like very nervous, very unsure.
Yeah.
But again, it was like in a two-piece because it wasn't that way the whole time.
That's an interesting. Yeah, it's interesting that you picked up on that. That's a nuanced bit that is correct.
But Kelly, that's a really good question to remember. I have to remember to ask the feeling, the nuance, the atmosphere. Those are real. Those are more real than descriptions sometimes. But you're right. Yes. You're right. All right. So
I'll just tell you really quickly that I feel that is a really, really important piece, especially when you're looking at an event, because there's always an emotion. There's always an emotion around an event. There's going to be varying emotions, but there should be one kind of common theme. But when I was doing forecasting for stocks for a group, and what I found is that if I just went to look at if their numbers overperformed or underperformed, it wasn't as accurate. But the moment I took myself into like what I called sort of the boardroom when they did the earnings presenting to the team before they were going to announce it publicly, if the emotion was really low in the room, they underperformed. If it was high in the room, they overperformed. And that was accurate every single time, 100% of the time. So I think the emotion is definitely a strong tool to use.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's really, really good. Yeah, that's because we're closer to the emotion of a thing than we are to describing it or naming, or so that impacts our consciousness as human beings. So yeah, I have to remember to talk about that more. So thanks. Okay, are we ready for the reveal?
Okay, you ready? All right. So it is it's hold on. Tiananmen Square protests and massacre.
Tiananmen Square.
So it's interesting that you got the huddle together
I
and
did.
the anxiety and the feeling like this. And then, their protests went on for days before the guard was called in and the massacre. And so Ascilla was picking up on, it wasn't always chaotic, or scary. It was sort of like it became that way. So it's sort of what you were feeling.
I felt it was a sporting event of sorts. I mean, initially I felt like, some kind of but yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. But that anyone
Kelly,
get
is there an image? Is there an image associated with it? Like when you're like, are we?
Can you show us the image, Kelly?
Are we remote viewing like an image that you have in?
The one that I had that I was holding was Tank Man, where he was standing in front of the tank, which was interesting because you sort of drew the horseshoe. That when I saw that, it kind of reminded me of a tank because it had like what looked to be maybe lights on it. And then you had the square and you had the don't deny, which was really fascinating to me because it was sort of like the warning, don't deny, don't protest.
That's great, Robin. Good call. Robin had a good day today, didn't she?
Yeah.
On it.
That's good. But Devin, you didn't get anything in your body for that, did you?
No, my body, I think, was on a totally different journey.
Oh, all right.
So some people do need to the moon landing, though. We maybe had four people that thought it was a moon landing, which is really fascinating because I hadn't even thought about that.
So did Christine and Margie, yeah. And so there's a kind of bleed through of other people getting an idea and just picks up in the group sometimes. And I think that's called something kind of overlay, associative overlay. And that happens even more in person. Someone gets the idea, it's an apple because it's green, and the other person next to them gets an apple. And it's not that, but it's just the apple thing just spreads around the room. So that does happen. But overall, for this course, since it was the last kind of session, any feedback? I mean, do you feel like you're able to use this more in the world somehow? I mean, because that's really the ultimate goal, is to develop the kind of intuitive sense of things in the world around you and feelings like I use it. How do I feel if I go to this restaurant? How's it going to make me feel? Well, if I eat this on the menu, I check in with my body. Will my body feel expanded or bloated or contracted? I mean, that's how I use it in practical. But anyone else have, like Christine, how are you going to use all these skills that you've learned here? I know, but
yeah, I think as I'm looking at traveling internationally, I'm trying to put myself in those locations and get a sense for the feeling and the timing and whether it feels right.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Devin, how about you? Anything?
I'm going to back up real quick. Hey, Kelly, do you think maybe instead of looking at a telescope, I was looking down the barrel of the cannon at a person and I was too close to them?
Yeah,
That
it could have been.
it.
It might have been that you called it a telescope and that kind of blocked you from seeing then, what it actually was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's so good. Devin, you had a good day too here.
Thanks. Yeah. So for me, like, this is really just helping me to validate those feelings that I have within and not second guessing myself, no matter what my present is, just going with that. And I really like that. So I'm super appreciative.
Oh, good. How about you, Mary Beth? How you feel about all these classes? I know you.
I thought it was great. I just think it's great. And, just that it's a learnable skill and sort of seeing what, like when you guess something and find out the target, what aspects. So then as you start to use
Wow.
it in the world, when I feel this way, I can probably be pretty sure that this is maybe an accurate feeling, sort
Right.
of like that. And
Yeah,
I'd use it with clients,
that's
getting
right.
a sense of how to work with them.
Yeah, you do body work with clients and all that, but I like what you said. It's a learnable skill, yes. And the fact, like that first round, 4 people got presidential. Like, how do you even get that? And no one got it for these other rounds. So there is a way. Our minds are non-local, that we can. There's something mysterious going on that we all have access to, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain it, but it's a truth. It's a reality. So, and it is practice. The more you do it, the more you tune in, the more you trust your intuition. Like Robin, why do you think you did so well today? Are you practicing?
I have been practicing. I like the RV tournament app.
Right.
I've had I just had a weekend with lots of relaxation and some spiritual fellow beings and stuff. So maybe I don't know. I think we all did. I think we all did really well. I thought it was really cool how like the 3 targets were so different,
Yeah.
yet every single time we were all in a pocket. Like
Yeah.
we didn't say dark for the Wright brothers, and we didn't
Right.
say
Exactly.
joy and stuff for
No, it's
for
true.
Tiananmen Square.
We're
Really
getting a
interesting 'cause
sense. You're right. That is collectively also we're building a field. So we're able to be supported by the field in a sense too. So you're right. That is so strange that no one talks about this possibility, this thing we're discovering. I mean, why is
Yeah.
that, Kelly? Why is no one talking about it? Except you, of course, but why is no one?
Well, I have some conspiracy theories on that, but we don't have that. We don't have that much time. No, I mean, because I think it can be really effective. I think it can be really powerful. And I've had this, thought and idea and hope to someday pull together, a team that can help find missing people
Yeah.
and help with cases. And, that because we've found in working on live cases, when we get a number of psychics together, we find these common threads and they create a picture. And then when we hand that over to law enforcement, it is effective. It can help to find what, the person or the
Right.
perpetrator or whatever. And it doesn't have to be in something dark. It doesn't have to be for crimes, but yeah, you get, and too, if you work in a similar group with the same people over time, you build the field and then you start to kind of lift off together.
Right.
So, yeah, so I don't know why everybody isn't talking about it, because we could have these really powerful groups.
Because we just proved it's possible. This is a reality. Everyone has the facility to do this, and it should be taught in elementary schools. It's just like, why are we coming to it now? It's like, it's a miracle.
Kelly.
What's that?
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had something exciting I wanted to say, but please go ahead.
Oh, no, say this exciting thing. I want to hear it.
So when you were talking collectively about the group, Kelly, I got your email just before this session. Yes. And I was scrolling through it. And I just kind of like glanced through it, and I got to the bottom and I got this really warm feeling. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of love. And I just kind of like scrolled back up, and it was the YouTube link to like the 2 things. I just felt like radiation coming from that, the YouTube links of just like this warmth and this love and like this real just immediacy of like loving protection. So like I just felt this group coming from that email. So I thought it was just really cool, and I wanted to share that with you and Alan.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. That's really
You're
sweet.
welcome.
Yeah, I think
That's a really group.
We build a trust and a field, and the container is love, because we kind of merge together somehow. So yeah, I think we could be doing more of this as a planetary civilization. And
would it make sense and I don't know, I part of me is saying this selfishly. It's
That's
to
okay.
come, like, say we go away, like, and for 6 weeks we maybe loosely we all are doing our own work, but maybe there's a theme that we might practice, and then come back to see if how the field held together. When we join,
yeah,
like, because I feel like there was a rhythm, like.
Yeah.
And like when John, like even with my own ideas, like when John said cigarette, I was like, that's the smell. Or someone might say something and it was someone said omega, and it wasn't like I was thinking that it just felt resonated so strongly that I thought that maybe, or is that something you should avoid?
What we're going to do.
I think we are going to do it. Well, I think it's not something you should avoid. I think, Mary Beth, it's part of really important part of development is to do, we call them development circles, but this is basically that, where you work within the same field with the same people, and then you start to navigate your psychic and remote viewing skills and whatever other skills you sort of grow together, and it's a really cool process. So Alan and I have talked about this. We've got a couple of possibilities on the docket. So what we're talking about doing is, and we announced this at the beginning, but there were still people kind of coming in, so I'll say it again. So we're going to launch another course that's like this. We're calling it a beginner's course, another 4-module course, and it's going to be in the first couple classes are going to be very similar, but we'll do totally different targets. And you all are more than welcome to take the beginner's course again if you want more practice and if you want to be with some of the same people. And Alan, I think we can work out a discount for this group.
If you're taking it again, for sure. Yes, definitely.
And then, so sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't say.
I was going to announce that. So then we're going to do an advanced course, which would be in about 6 weeks, Mary Beth. And that the prerequisite is this class. And then we're going to do an advanced course launching mid-May. And that is going to be more of what we did today. So we're going to do more of like group viewing and maybe even longer target viewing, so that we can kind of add in and really work with the target. And then Alan, I'll let you talk, but you want to do off-planetary stuff.
Ultimately, that's where it goes for me. I kind of started the whole idea of teaching remote viewing because I wanted to go off planet and start, as this book shows, making contact. So if we can all get very similar targets, like what we did here, like ants, then if we went off planet, like we go to the Pleiades, we go to a planet and we get similar like impressions of that place, there's no way to get feedback about that, but maybe there's an agreement that maybe those beings on whatever place we go are really like that, and they really have this sort of message for us. That's the theory about that. And also in Sedona, we're going to be forming that collective field. I'm also doing something in Mount Shasta the week after, and we will. What the psionics do is put together this group feeling, and they put their thoughts out there and they become one with the craft, and they're able to land it. This is what the latest government remote viewers are doing. They're calling it psionics, and they're able to link with the craft itself and actually bring it in. That's a little advanced for me at this point, but why not? Let's do it. Let's land some craft there in Sedona. And if those people in the military can do it with whatever level of consciousness they're at, I think we certainly can do it too. So
we want to make sure we're landing the friendly crafts.
Yeah, well, we'll only put out a friendly signal. You attract what you bring in, what you meet, what you. So anyway, that's the idea, because it's a vast unknown universe. People are also using remote viewing for archaeological purposes. Maybe you'll do one of those. I just saw a great archaeological target that these people are really good. They really got the target. So, one really good resource is the Farsight Institute. It's Courtney Brown, and it's a subscription, but the Farsight Institute has some great examples of really good remote viewers, I have to say. And that I learned a lot watching there because, this is a new science. I mean, me and Kelly, we're inventing it as we go along, based on her skills as a, psychic medium and what I've studied and have taught. I probably taught like 50 classes at this point, but every class I'm learning something new about the workings of the mind and how perception of this non-local reality, what it really is. It is a totally new science. It is of course, it's been around for ages, but to us, the people, and it's really popular. I'm going to be teaching a course on the Shift Network now, but it's really catching on, this idea that our consciousness is not localized to the body. It's like, who would have thought that would have been such a kind of a hot item? But it is, along with the telepathy tapes and along with things like what Chris Bledsoe is saying, remote viewing is just expanding and blossoming. So I think we have a really good approach here, me and you, Kelly. And I think the breakout rooms really do work well. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think this is my takeaway from this course, and you guys tell me if you agree. But I think if we can, in follow-on classes, take less time with even though the feedback's really important, maybe break into 2 groups so that we can kind of consolidate the time that we're feeding back and more time that we're in practice.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. And we could, if we don't have to limit, if we're doing breakout groups, we can have more people. We could do 3 breakout rooms and I think the breakout rooms also give people time to expand on their target practice a little more. So I think that really worked well. I hadn't done that in previous, but I think it's a good approach, totally. But any other takeaways people got from this course, like what you can take home, take to the bank with you?
I just want to thank you for doing it. And I mean, it's just a pleasure to be talking about all this with people, just to be in conversation about it. And I think a lot of people are talking about it. It's just not mainstream. But for me, I feel like I'm, in daily life, I'm just trying to be more sensitive to the impulses of guidance. And that seems to be coming a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I wonder, Robin, you had something to say, Robin?
No.
No, I wonder people who are taking your mediumship course, if that somehow affects, like Estella, you're in Kelly's course, what has this helped you with that or not, with that mediumship?
This seems a little bit harder for me, but it's giving me the confidence to kind of go with what I'm getting.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. So I'm starting to learn, just go with it. Just let it flow.
Yeah.
It's really hard to decipher between your thoughts and are you getting other thoughts or
that's the key to the whole thing, though. That is the secret, like that distinction. What's yours and what's the target's? Is it the noise? They call it the noise versus signal. The noise is the stuff in your head all the time. The signal is what, boom, pops into your mind. Tim, any conscious feedback from you, consciousness expansion from you there?
Well, I really appreciated the course. I want to thank you both for that. And it's great to be connected with all of you like this. It was really a unique space to be able to explore consciousness like this in a group setting. I thought it was really great. So I just want to thank you both and everybody else on in the class. I thought it was really great. I'm trying to get to this place where I can really, just tap into the collective a bit. That's why I've been doing the Monroe Institute and was interested in this class. So this is just helping me further that a bit. I know for me, like it's harder for me to kind of calm my mind quickly. I go through this preparatory process with the Monroe Institute that takes a few minutes to get to a space where then I know that I'm close to tapping in. So that's sort of what I took away from this. It's hard for me to go fast. I just know that. So
That's a good point, I think. And the preparation does fine tune the psyche to separate from your common thoughts. It's just like, I think we need to take more time, Kelly, right? And just.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I think that we think we need we need to set up, that's because that's how you've gotten comfortable. But when you get thrown into an exercise where somebody, asks you a question and has you give your impression and you don't have any time, you have to just spit it out. Then you start to see, it's actually right there. It's just a shift and it's that quick. You don't actually need the whole process. But at first, that's the tool that you use. That's the way that you get there. So
it's a bit of a safety net, in a way. It makes you like, for me, it gets me. I'm like, okay, now I know I can trust whatever, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like Vanina.
Yeah, thank you so much for the course as well. I think from if I could give a feedback, it will be to try different ways, like to try going with first images very quick, like ton, ton, ton. So we have first flashes and write down, first flashes and write down, and go as well with teams perspective, like going very slowly and see if what is our way, because everybody will have a different way, and just to see what it fits better us. And for me, the silence is important, very important. Like many times we have kind of talks that continues, and it doesn't give us the space to find that empty board to see the images. So then later we go try to rush and to say, okay, we have a little time, let's see what I see.
Right.
For me, I think it's an exploration, so it was good. It was nice to see these other possibilities. It gave me a little of fear, I will say, because I realized that I couldn't understand really what is the way for me to see and to work. So it gave me a kind of I feel like I'm in point zero, and I really need the groups to make up something. So it doesn't give me the individuality that I was kind of not expecting, but aiming to understand and be able to see for myself. While in reality, I see that we really need a group to make out something.
Also,
at this stage. Right?
You'll find your way. The more you do this, the more you practice, you will find the part. Like I think Devin found that part where she resonates. It's a physical thing more. So it will come to you, like the thing about rushing in and not. Sometimes when people are just thinking of a target, I get a quick image. So it evolves the practice and your own relationship to your consciousness. It's so strange. We're dancing in this inner space and we're trying to see how thoughts are received. It's such a subtle thing, that we're discovering here. I mean, Christine, are you happy with you should be. You did really well. It runs in the family, like I said. So, yes.
Boy, I'm having a problem with my mute button, which is usually a blessing in some cases. But I just I'm so grateful to everyone. This has been an amazing experience. And it just shows you what is possible. And there's so much that is possible. And to be able to do that as a shared exploration was really a great experience and a gift. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think it's miraculous what we proved here. It's like there's no logical way that this can actually happen, but it does. It's beyond the logic that we think the world is made of. And I just interviewed Raymond Moody, who says, no, we have to talk about the nonsensical parts and go beyond logic. So, but there's something real. It is real. We've proved it is true, so I'm really happy about that. And Anything Robin, were you going to say something? You can, please.
No, I just wanted to say thank you. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you for
Thank you. Thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
It was really, really interesting. And
And
if
John,
anything, it makes you feel more like,
what? It makes you feel?
I was going to say more confident, but it's not even, it's like, it's just the things we thought, I don't know. And you get a little something that pops into your head. And now I listen to it differently. That's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Good point. Yes. What about you, John? Are you now going to compete with Kelly as a psychic? Meaning?
Yeah, I was
him on our team for the Psy games.
Oh yeah,
fun. I thought we were doing the stock market still, so maybe that's the next one. No, I think proving it was real I knew it was real, but I think when you experience something for yourself, it's sort of some of my one experience in the psychedelic world, one and probably only. But it was sort of like you saw the finish line, then you had to make your way to it yourself. I feel like there was a similar experience of when you experience something, you sort of see the finish line and feel it and touch it, and then you have to still walk the path and train and learn. And so that was my experience with this, was just that really feeling it, that truth yourself, and then figuring out the rest. Because you can't just be instantly great at it, but you get a glimpse.
Well, you're right. It's a total practice. The more you practice the piano, the better you're a piano player. I mean, and everyone can do this. And the people who do practice seem to get better at it. I mean, for whatever reason, because you're learning about your own mind. You're seeing how you think and what thoughts are from the target, what are just your random thought. It's so subtle, but it becomes a learning that is possible. Absolutely. Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Hey.
Yes. So much.
Thank you, Kelly. It's great to get that insight to work with you. It's really fun. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. This was such a great group. You're a lot of fun to work with, obviously, Alan, and such a wealth of information and knowledge. So yeah, well, thank you, everybody.
Wait, so the next group, can you put the next link in the chat? So the next beginner's course is March. What is it?
Let me look up what we said, but I'm going to send it in a follow-on email so everybody will have it in case they want to dive into that. I believe we were going to start, hold on, 318 was the next beginner's course, and the advanced course launch, we said 5/13, May 13th.
So March 18th, what is that, the 25th? For begin
March 18th, 25th, 4/8, April 8th, and April 15th.
And do you want to do it earlier and like start at 5? I think that actually works better because I'll be on the East Coast for some of that.
Yeah, we can figure that out. I think maybe like split the difference, maybe like 5:30 Pacific Standard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So 5/8 and 5/15, 4/15. Okay, great. Okay.
And did you say there was an app that you could get targets from?
Yes, there is. It's called.
You know, I don't know about March 15th. I do have something else I might have.
Well, we can talk about that. So it's RV Tournament is the app.
Yeah.
Okay. And
it's good practice.
Yeah, it's fun to practice. It's a little confusing because like other people had said, they give 2 targets and it's hard to know which target to view. So it gets kind of confused where they do the reveal the next day. And, you know, I've had a couple times where I viewed the wrong target.
Well, sometimes you get both targets or parts of both targets, you know, it's, I'm just looking at, we might have to modify those dates. I'm looking at that, but maybe it'll work. I don't know.
Yeah. And we can back channel that. We can definitely massage it, but we'll announce, I'll send the final announcement out of this group so that everybody's got it. And then we'll include a discount code once you and I talk for that as well. So, all right. Yeah. And if we talked about maybe doing a Q&A, so if anything comes up in the meantime and you guys want to gather back up and we can kind of Q&A it out, then we can schedule something like that.
And the advance course we're going to go out there in the advance course. We're leaving this.
No doubt we will with you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. It was
Thank
really
you,
great
Alan.
to meet.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Kelly.
Take care.
Thank you.
Talk to you, Kelly.
Thank you.
This has been recorded.